The U.S. Afghan Women's Council was founded in January of 2002, right after really the fall of the Taliban. My role on the U.S. Afghan Women's Council is the executive director. And think of it as directing a film. I kind of put the pieces together and then allow the council members to sort of get up, talk about what they're doing on the ground. And it's more of a behind the scenes type of role, but it's one I think I'm well suited for.
Kate Friedrich is an outstanding public servant, and she has been absolutely pivotal to the U.S. Afghan Women's Council.
Her involvement in the Women's Council is part of her really devotion for the cause of freedom and women's rights in Afghanistan. She has been a true force in keeping a lot of us focused on the issue of women's rights in Afghanistan.
Daimler Chrysler gave us our very first grant. They gave $10,000 to open some community banks for women in Herat. And Herat was notoriously one of the worst places in Afghanistan, prior to the fall of the Taliban. So we opened these 2 banks. Things seemed to be going very well, and so Daimler decided to give us another $25,000. And within a year, we went back to Afghanistan. We sat down with some of these women. It was 80, 90 women in a room telling us about how they got a microloan for the first time in their life and how it changed everything that they did. They were able to employ people, support their families. It was really amazing. Today, I'm very proud to say that we have $124 million worth of programs there that service women and children in the 4 basic areas that Afghan women described as their key priorities, which are microfinance, education and literacy, political participation and legal awareness, and access to health care. Recently, I was in Afghanistan and I was with Mrs. Bush. It was in June 2008, and we went to Bamiyan, where Afghanistan has its only woman governor. I went to an orphanage while I was there, and I talked to a lot of kids. I always ask them what they want to be when they grow up. And one little girl, she's 9 years old, lost one parent. And, I asked her, I said, what would you like to be? And she said, very proudly looked me square in the eye and said, I'm going to be president of Afghanistan. And I think that's what we're fighting for. For people to have choices and for women to know that they can, step up. And if this is the generation that we're helping, really helping, I think that really says it all.